The Canada Border Services Agency says it has made the largest narcotic seizure ever in the Prairies. Investigators showed off stacks of suspected methamphetamines today in Winnipeg. It was intercepted at a land border crossing, and police say it's worth tens of millions of dollars. The CBC's Cameron McIntosh joins us live from Winnipeg. And Cam, this is all, the weight is just unbelievable. What do we know about this bust?
So, Andrew, this is a seizure that happened back on January 14th, just being made public today at a land border crossing near Boissevain, Manitoba. That's in southwestern Manitoba, about a little more than an hour south of Brandon. What happened, according to the police, is a truck pulled up to that crossing, attempted to cross, and without getting into a lot of policing details, the police say simply that the driver raised some red flags, the truck was pulled to the side. Investigators went in from the Border Services Agency into the trailer, took a look around, and found some large suitcases full of methamphetamine drugs. Here now is RCMP Inspector Joe Tellis with more detail on how this all happened.
The origin and size of the shipment leads us to believe that this involved organized crime at the local, national, and international level. While the drugs were destined for Winnipeg, we also strongly believe that they would have been distributed to communities across Manitoba and possibly to locations across Western Canada and into Ontario.
So the sheer numbers of this, they're saying 400 kilograms of methamphetamine. That's about 40 million doses with a street value of about $50 million. Drugs, as you just heard them say, that were likely destined here for Winnipeg and surrounding areas.
And so where does the investigation go from here?
Well, the interesting thing that the RCMP say about this is typically when there's a big drug bust, the way they go about it is they figure out the way the drugs are moving, where they're going, and ultimately they seize them. What's happened here is the seizure came to them. So they don't really know where these drugs came from. So they're saying that this investigation is going to require them to work backwards, basically to figure out what the origins of these drugs are in the United States and who is behind this. You heard the RCMP inspector there say they believe that there's local and national organized crime behind this, given that it's going over an international border. Clearly that complicates the investigation somewhat. They'll likely require cooperation with agencies like the FBI in the United States to investigate this thoroughly. The truck, they say, came over the border, or that was attempting to cross the border, was registered to a shipping company here in Manitoba. That will also be part of the investigation, as will the driver's relationship with that agency. Of course, the driver himself has been charged, a 26-year-old male from Manitoba, who will be appearing in court a little bit later in February on all of this. But as for now, right now, the Canadian Border Services Agency is saying that this is the largest land border seizure of illegal drugs on a land border crossing between Manitoba, Alberta, and Saskatchewan.
Cam, thank you. That is the CBC's Cameron McIntosh live in Winnipeg.